Namaskaram. We're on the sets of Prophet, the third dance production that we're archiving as a film. Prophet remains as one of my favorite dance productions for its intensity as well as reactions it elicited from audiences. We're taking a walk down memory lane through a dialogue between the writer Shrikant and myself. Prophet is a very unusual story compared to what you've written before or even after. What inspired you to write Prophet?
This particular story had its seed in the papal resignation when Pope Benedict had resigned from his post of the Pope. Was when this story occurred to me. I think what was going through my mind was, what does a Pope do after he resigns? As in, what is he after he stopped being a Pope? That was the starting point of the story.
வழியை நடத்திச் செல்வது நானா? வழியறியாமல் தவிப்பது நானா? நான் யாரோ? நான் யாரோ?
When you have a written narrative, a story that someone reads, then they can truly appreciate all the different dimensions of the characters that are in the story. But when I dance board such a story written by you, then in a dance production, especially as a solo narrative, I have to bring in elements that allow the audiences to appreciate that very same complexity. So the way I approach this is to use dialogues, to use subtexts that are very evocative of the character herself, and to also use the physicality, the body language of the dance, to use music to bring out all the different shades of the Prophet. And what the audience member sort of feels is a very holistic experience where they take in everything. They take in the story, the character, and they leave with a sense of what you have tried to write.
Strangely enough, Prophet was musically inclined from the beginning. In fact, the whole idea of doubt that we play out in the third part of this trilogy, if I may call it that, comes from Bruce Springsteen's line which says that God have mercy on the man who doubts what he's sure of. I think one element that I used largely in this production, which we have not used before or after, was trance. Given the nature of communicating with God, which pervades throughout this, I thought trance is an excellent way of communicating this feeling through music. Now, trance is not something that's been used in Carnatic or Bharatanatyam music as far as I would be aware of. The inspirations tend to be as far and wide as music from the Buddha bar, music which was the theme music of certain motion pictures. I was amazed at how Carnaticized he turned trance into, and without losing the spirit of what trance brings to the table. I'm not surprised. Rajkumar has done it before with rock in our last production, so this time it was trance. But I think the element was not so much to use trance, the element of bringing it in was because it communicated what we had to say more effectively.
difficulty with Prophet is that, one, the story is moving through a flashback of her life, a life that is riddled with many, many ups and equally catastrophic downs. When you have something that is extremely emotionally disturbing and you're staging it through the medium of dance, it became very evident to me that you couldn't just tell it as is, because it is too raw. It is something that would be very bothersome to see it in a live performance. So what I realized was that I needed to run a story within a story. So to use another parallel that allows the audience to experience the essence of what I am trying to narrate without actually showing the graphic nature of it. So that is a mode that I've used in the choreography quite liberally because of the nature of Prophet's narrative. There are parts of the story that are extremely intense, and so there are some very kinetic movements, which in many ways expands the boundaries of what Bharatanatyam can do.